From the start, it's obviously away in first gear and right up to fourth gear into the first corner. That's about 110 or 115 miles an hour. Quite interesting before other cars. Round the first corner in third gear, and we just snicked fourth gear for a little while into the second corner, and then down into the hairpin. We're right down to first gear. We had second gear out of there, and third gear up to Daytona, which is the long drifting part of the circuit on the loose. And we hold third gear all the way around there, and sometimes we can carry on and come back onto the start straight in third gear, but sometimes we have to go to second gear. It depends quite what line we take and what else is happening. And then down into the chicane, we come through there in third gear, believe it or not. It's quite a quick chicane.
Is it a good place for overtaking?
It's never I don't think there are any good places for overtaking, but there are some places here that you can make a move, but it's difficult.
And it is difficult for Will as he trails Martin Schanche and Jean-Luc Pailler in these Division 2 first heats, Arthur.
Yes, Will is still using the 1900cc unit they had to put in the car last week at Inglemunster, but with a few tweaks that they've learned from the 2-litre engine, he's proving pretty competitive with this one, despite the theoretical lack of power. But it's Jean-Luc Pailler then leading Martin Schanche as they come off Daytona, as you heard Will refer to it, through Sachs Corner. That is Sachs Corner, which leads down over the finish line into the chicane, flick left through the chicane and right out, and away down into Sachs Curve. That's the fastest part of the circuit there. Jean-Luc Pailler being really hounded now by Martin Schanche. Then they come on to the Blomqvist straight, would you believe, named after Stig Blomqvist, down into this very, very tight hairpin, round the tight hairpin. That leads up into Jubilee Curve here, with Martin Schanche still hounding Jean-Luc Pailler through Jubilee up onto Daytona, as we'll refer to it, named Daytona because it's got a slightly banked effect round there, and Will hanging on in very well just out of your picture, but I can tell you he's still there in third place. Jean-Luc then still leading. There is Will Gollop. Martin Schanche still in second place with this new short stroke engine which took him to victory in Inglemunster last week, a new engine built by Martin himself, and Martin it is, tucked right under the Xantia's rear wing once again, but as Will was saying, not an easy circuit on which to overtake, and that's keeping these three cars very, very close together. The Frenchman, the former European champion, leading the most successful man ever in the history of European Rallycross here at this particular circuit, Martin Schanche. There is actually a square in the centre of the paddock named after Martin Schanche, the Martin Schanche Plain, in tribute to all the many successes that this man has had here. And he's looking for his second victory in a row, of course, this weekend to follow on from Inglemunster. But it's Jean-Luc Pailler taking that one, and Will in very close place there in third.